At my promotion celebration dinner, my fiancée said, "Don't get too comfortable. You'll probably get fired in 6 months like last time." In front of my new boss and team. I smiled. "You're right, nothing's guaranteed." Then I excused myself, called an Uber, and left her there with a $340 bill. Her text started when the waiter brought the check. Original post. 30 male, walked out of my own promotion dinner 4 hours ago and left my fiancé with a $340 bill in front of my new boss. My phone has been exploding ever since, but I'm sitting in my apartment with the ringer off, drinking a beer, and feeling something I haven't felt in a long time. Peace. Let me give you the context because this didn't come out of nowhere. I've been with my fiancé for 3 years, engaged for 8 months. She's smart, successful, works in pharmaceutical sales, making good money, around $95,000. I work in marketing, and my career has been bumpier. 2 years ago, I got laid off during company restructuring. It wasn't performance-related. The whole department was eliminated, but it still hit hard. Took me 4 months to find something new, and during that time, something shifted in how she looked at me. The comments started small. "Maybe you should apply to more places. Have you considered that your resume might be the problem? My friend's boyfriend found a job in 2 weeks, so I don't understand what's taking you so long." When I finally landed a role, she said "finally" instead of "congratulations." Since then, her jabs about my career have been constant, subtle but relentless. At dinner parties, he's in marketing for now anyway. At family gatherings, we're waiting to see if this one sticks before we set a wedding date. In private, "You know I make more than you, right? I'm basically carrying this relationship financially." For the record, I make $72,000. I pay half our rent, half our bills, and fund my own expenses entirely. She's not carrying anything, but her narrative has always been that she's the successful one and I'm the liability. I've talked to her about it multiple times. She always says I'm too sensitive and she's just joking, and I need to learn to take criticism. Classic stuff. Anyway, 3 weeks ago, I got promoted. Senior marketing manager, $89,000 salary, bonus potential, a team of 4 reporting to me. It's the biggest professional win of my life. My new boss wanted to take the team out to celebrate. Nice steakhouse, company card for most of it, but partners were invited, so it became a bigger thing. 8 people total, me, my boss, 3 team members, and 3 significant others, including my fiancée. Dinner was going great. Good food, good conversation. My boss made a toast about my strategic thinking and leadership potential. I was genuinely happy. For maybe the first time in years, I felt like I was being seen for what I could do instead of what I'd failed at. Then my fiancée opened her mouth. We were talking about long-term plans for the team when she leaned in and said, loud enough for the whole table to hear, "Don't get too comfortable. You'll probably get fired in 6 months like last time." The table went silent. My boss looked confused. One of my new team members actually winced. Another was staring at her plate like she wanted to disappear. I felt my face get hot. 3 years of comments, of belittling, of being made to feel like I was never good enough. All of it compressed into this one moment, in front of the people I needed to respect me professionally. But I didn't yell, didn't argue, didn't make a scene. I smiled. "Me, you're right. Nothing's guaranteed. Excuse me for a moment." I got up from the table, walked calmly to the restroom, and pulled out my phone. Called an Uber. Then I walked back to the table, picked up my jacket from my chair, and spoke only to my boss. "Me, I apologize, but I need to handle something. Thank you for organizing this. I'll see you Monday." My boss looked concerned but nodded. I left, walked out of the restaurant, got in my Uber, and went home. About 15 minutes later, my phone started buzzing. "Where are you? The check just came." "Are you seriously leaving me here?" "This bill is $340. I didn't bring my wallet expecting to pay." "Answer your phone." "I can't believe you're doing this to me." "I had to use my emergency credit card. You're paying me back." "Hello?" "Fine. Don't answer. We're going to talk about this when I get home." I didn't respond. Just turned off my phone, cracked open a beer, and sat in the quiet. She came home about an hour later. I heard her slam the front door, throw her purse on the counter, and storm into the living room where I was sitting. Her, what the hell was that? Me. That was me leaving a dinner where I was publicly humiliated by my fiancée. Her, I made one joke. Me, you told my new boss, that I'd probably get fired like last time. In front of my entire team. At my promotion dinner. Her, it was funny. Everyone laughs at stuff like that. Me, no one laughed. Did you notice that? Not one person laughed. Her, they just don't have a sense of humor. You're being dramatic. Me, I'm not being dramatic. I'm done. Her, done with what? Me, this. Us. The engagement. Everything. She stared at me like I'd spoken a foreign language. Her, you're breaking up with me over a joke? Me, I'm breaking up with you over 3 years of being treated like I'm not good enough. The joke was just the last straw. And it wasn't a joke. You meant it. You've always meant it. She tried everything after that. Crying. Apologizing, sort of. Telling me I was overreacting. Saying she was just nervous and sometimes says stupid things. Then pivoting to anger. Calling me petty, immature, unable to handle honest feedback. I stayed calm the whole time. Me, I think you should stay somewhere else tonight. We can figure out the apartment situation this week. Her, you're kicking me out? Me, the lease is in my name. You can stay with your sister or your parents or wherever. But I need space. She eventually left, still furious, still insisting I was making a huge mistake. That was 4 hours ago. I'm sitting here now, alone, in my quiet apartment. The ring is still in my sock drawer. I was going to propose again, a proper do-over with a better ring since the first one was bought when I was broke. That's not happening now. I'll update when there's more to tell. Right now, I'm just trying to process the fact that my biggest professional moment became the end of my relationship. Update 1, 3 days later. A lot has happened since my last post, and I need to document it because this situation has gotten significantly more complicated. First, some context from comments on my original post. Many of you asked about the dinner aftermath, how my boss and team reacted, whether there was professional fallout. Here's what happened. Monday morning, I got to work early. Nervous as hell. Figure my boss would want to talk about the chaos at dinner. I was right. My boss called me into his office around 9 a.m. I sat down expecting damage control mode. My boss, Friday was interesting. Me, I'm really sorry about how that ended. It was unprofessional of me to leave. My boss, stop. I'm not upset with you. I'm concerned about you. Me concerned? My boss. What your fiancé said was uncomfortable. For everyone at that table, I've been in this industry for 20 years, and I've never seen a partner undercut someone like that at a professional event. Are you okay? I didn't expect that. I thought I'd be in trouble. Instead, I was being asked if I was okay. Me, honestly? Not really. We broke up that night. My boss, good. Me, good. My boss. I'm not going to comment on your personal life, but I will say this. Anyone who would humiliate you in front of your team on the night of your promotion isn't someone who wants you to succeed. I've seen it before. Partners who feel threatened by their significant other's growth. It's toxic. He told me to take whatever time I needed to sort things out, but that my position was secure and he had full confidence in me. That conversation meant more than he probably knows. Now for the mess at home. My ex-fiancée feels weird to type that. Stayed at her sister's place for 2 nights, then started pushing to talk things through. She showed up at the apartment Tuesday evening without warning. Her, we need to discuss this like adults. Me, I've said everything I need to say. Her, you ended a 3-year relationship over one comment. That's insane. You know that's insane, right? Me, it wasn't one comment. It was 3 years of comments. The dinner was just the one that happened in front of witnesses. Her witnesses? What is this, a trial? Me? It might as well be. You've been putting me down for years. The only difference now is other people saw it. She tried a different approach then. Started crying. Said she'd been stressed about work and sometimes says things she doesn't mean. Said she loved me and didn't want to lose what we'd built together. Her, I'll go to therapy. I'll work on it. Just don't throw everything away over this. Me, why now? I've asked you to stop the comments dozens of times. You always said I was being too sensitive. Why is it suddenly a problem you're willing to work on? Her, because you're actually leaving. I didn't think you'd actually leave. There it was. The honesty. She didn't think there would be consequences, so she never bothered to change. Me. That's exactly the problem. You thought you could keep tearing me down forever, and I'd just take it. You were wrong. She left again. Angrier this time. Said I was being cold and vindictive, and that she'd tell everyone what really happened, that I abandoned her at a restaurant and kicked her out of her home. I let her go. The next day, Wednesday, I started getting texts from her friends and family. Her sister. I can't believe you're doing this to her. She's devastated. Her best friend. She said you left her with a $340 bill in front of strangers? That's so humiliating. How could you do that to someone you supposedly love? Her mom. I always knew you were unstable. She told me about the job problems. She deserves better. The narrative she was spinning was impressive. I was the villain who abandoned her over nothing. No mention of what she actually said. No context. Just the image of her, alone, humiliated, stuck with a bill. I didn't respond to any of them. What's the point? People who want to believe her version will believe it. But I did save all the messages. Documentation matters. Then came the interesting development. Thursday, I got a LinkedIn message from one of my new team members. The one who'd winced when my ex made her comment. Her team member, hey, I hope this isn't weird, but I wanted to check in. That dinner was a lot. I've worked at companies where people get thrown under the bus by their own families. It's never okay. Just wanted you to know your team has your back. I thank her for reaching out. She responded, also, if you ever need a witness statement or whatever, I remember exactly what was said. Just in case. Just in case. I filed that away mentally. More updates coming as this develops. Update 2. 9 days later. The past week has been a roller coaster, and I want to share what's happened because the situation has evolved in ways I didn't expect. First, the living situation. My ex-fiancée had been staying with her sister, but apparently that wasn't sustainable. She reached out last weekend asking when she could come home. Me, this isn't your home anymore. The lease is in my name. We're not together. You need to find your own place. Her, I've been paying half the rent for 2 years. I have rights. Me, you've been paying rent, yes. As a tenant with no lease. I've consulted with a lawyer. I'm required to give you reasonable notice, which I did when I asked you to leave. We're past that now. Her, you talked to a lawyer? Me, I'm protecting myself. You should probably do the same. She didn't like that. Started threatening to take me for everything I have and make sure everyone knows what kind of person I am. I didn't engage. Just repeated that she needed to arrange a time to collect her belongings. Her mom got involved next. Call me directly this time. Her mom, you're really going to throw away 3 years? My daughter made one mistake, and you're treating her like a criminal. Me, ma'am, with respect, your daughter has been belittling me for our entire relationship. Friday was just the first time she did it in front of witnesses. Her mom, she says you're exaggerating, that you're oversensitive and can't take a joke. Me, of course she says that. She's been saying that for 3 years. Did she tell you what she actually said? That I'd probably get fired in 6 months like last time, in front of my boss and my team, at my promotion dinner. Pause. Her mom, she said she made a comment about job security that you took the wrong way. Me, job security. That's what she's calling it. Her mom, are you saying she's lying? Me, I'm saying there were 7 other people at that table. If you want to know what really happened, ask any of them. Her mom didn't have a response to that. She said she'd look into it and hung up. The next day, I got a text from her sister, a very different tone than before. Her sister, I talked to my mom. She talked to someone who was at the dinner. I had no idea what she actually said. I'm sorry for the message I sent you before. Me, I appreciate that. Her sister, for what it's worth, I've always thought she was too hard on you. I just didn't realize how bad it was. This whole thing is a mess. Me, it is, but it needed to happen. Having her own sister acknowledge the truth felt validating. It didn't change anything, but it helped. Then came the workplace development. Last Wednesday, I had a routine one-on-one with my boss. At the end, he mentioned something offhand. My boss. By the way, I got an interesting call this week. My boss. Someone claiming to be concerned about instability in your personal life affecting your work performance. Want to know if there were any concerns about your reliability. My stomach dropped. Me, what did you tell them? My boss. I told them that employee performance reviews were confidential and that they were welcome to file a formal complaint if they had specific concerns. They hung up. Me. I'm so sorry. I think I know who that was. My boss. I figured. Look, I don't know what's happening in your personal situation, but this company doesn't make employment decisions based on anonymous calls. Your work speaks for itself. Don't let anyone make you think otherwise. She tried to go after my job. The same job she'd mocked at the dinner. The job she told everyone I'd probably lose. She tried to make that prophecy come true. I was furious. But I also realized something. Her opinion of me had never been about my actual capabilities. It was about keeping me small, manageable, below her. And when I started succeeding anyway, she tried to tear me down. I didn't confront her about the call. What would be the point? Instead, I documented it, added it to my file, and moved on. The belongings exchange happened last Saturday. I'd boxed up everything of hers and arranged for her to pick it up while I was out. I didn't want to see her. Didn't want another confrontation. She left a note. I hope you're happy. You've ruined both our lives over your ego. I threw the note away. One more update coming to wrap this up. Update 3. Final, 12 days later. This is my final update. The situation has resolved itself, and I'm ready to close this chapter. The last couple weeks have been about establishing new normal. Here's where things landed. First, the apartment. My ex officially moved her stuff out and found a place to stay. She's renting a room from a coworker temporarily while she apartment hunts. The irony is that she makes more money than me, but apparently never saved much. She complained to mutual friends that she was financially devastated by having to suddenly find housing. Funny how someone who always said she was carrying the relationship couldn't afford to carry herself. The ring situation, I returned it. Got store credit since it was past the return window for cash. Applied it toward a new TV. Seemed like a healthier investment. Second, the professional fallout, or lack thereof. That anonymous call to my boss turned out to be the last of her attempts to interfere with my work. I've been nervous about more sabotage, but it never came. Either she gave up or realized it was only making her look worse. My boss mentioned it one more time, in passing, no more mystery calls. I think whoever was got the message that this company doesn't play those games. Work has actually been going well. My first month as senior manager has been challenging but good. The team is responsive, the projects are interesting, and I'm finally being treated like someone with something to contribute. Third, the social aftermath. This was messier than the rest. My ex committed fully to her version of events with anyone who would listen. According to the narrative she's been spreading, I abandoned her at a restaurant over nothing. I kicked her out of her home with no warning. I'm vindictive and unable to handle constructive criticism. She's the victim of an emotionally abusive partner who couldn't stand seeing her succeed. Some people bought it. A few mutual friends stopped talking to me. Her family has apparently written me off entirely. Not surprising, but still stings a little. But here's what I didn't expect. More people saw through it than I thought would. My buddy, someone who's known both of us for years, texted me last week. My buddy, hey, I heard what happened. Just want to say I've watched how she talks to you for years. I'm surprised you lasted as long as you did. Me, you never said anything. My buddy, wasn't my place. But I'm glad you're out. You seem lighter already. He wasn't the only one. A few other friends reached out to say similar things. That they'd noticed how she talked to me. That they'd wondered how I put up with it. That they were relieved I'd finally stood up for myself. It's weird to realize that other people saw what was happening and just didn't say anything. But I also get it. What they have said, hey, your fiancé is kind of mean to you. It's not the kind of thing you bring up casually. One conversation stood out. Last Saturday, I ran into her best friend, the one who'd sent me the angry text about the $340 bill. She was at a coffee shop I was passing, and we made awkward eye contact. To my surprise, she came over. Her best friend. Can we talk for a second? Me, sure. Her best friend, I owe you an apology. When she told me what happened, I only heard her side. The bill, you leaving all of it. I didn't know about what she said at the dinner. I found out later from someone else who was there. Me, how'd you find out? Her best friend, your coworker, the one who was at the table. She's dating my cousin, weirdly enough. Small world. Anyway, she told me exactly what happened, and I realized my friend had edited the story significantly. Me, I appreciate you telling me that. Her best friend. For what it's worth, I told her she was wrong. That what she said was cruel. She didn't take it well. We're not really talking right now. So her best friend had called her out and faced consequences for it. That felt like something. A few final thoughts before I close this out. 1. Trust your gut about patterns. The dinner comment wasn't new. It was the same energy she'd been directing at me for years, just finally public. I'd excused it, explained it away, accepted her framing that I was too sensitive. I wasn't. She was just cruel. 2. Leaving doesn't have to be dramatic to be effective. I didn't yell, didn't throw things, didn't make a scene at the restaurant. I just left, calmly, quietly, and that turned out to be the most powerful thing I could have done. She couldn't claim I was crazy or out of control. I was composed. She was the one left explaining. 3. Financial entanglement makes everything harder. We weren't married, didn't share accounts, and the lease was in my name. That made the separation clean. If we'd been more intertwined, shared lease, shared bank account, shared debt, this would have been a nightmare. Lesson learned for next time. Protect yourself legally before you need to. For the $340 bill was symbolic, not strategic. People keep asking if I planned to stick her with the check as revenge. I didn't. I just needed to leave, and I didn't think about the bill until later. But I'm also not sorry about it. She humiliated me publicly. A restaurant tab seems like a pretty minor consequence in comparison. 5. Success is the best response. I'm not saying I'm winning the breakup or whatever, but I am succeeding at work. I am being treated with respect by my colleagues. I am building a career that I'm proud of. And that success happened not because of her, but despite her. Every time she told me I'd fail, she was wrong. And now I get to prove that every single day. My apartment is quiet now. Her stuff is gone. Her energy is gone. The space feels bigger, even though nothing physical changed. I'm not dating yet. Not ready. But I'm also not closed off to it. Just careful. More careful than before. Some nights, I still hear her voice in my head. Don't get too comfortable. You'll probably get fired. I'm basically carrying this relationship. It takes time to unlearn that kind of damage. But I'm working on it. The promotion still stands. The job is still good. My boss still believes in me. My team still has my back. That's more than I had 3 weeks ago. Thanks for following this whole mess. Writing it out helped me process it. Sometimes you need strangers on the internet to confirm that leaving someone who tears you down isn't overreacting. It's self-preservation. Go and order some food and enjoy the quiet. Peace.